Hello everyone, Resonance here, and today I'll be giving you all my commentary on Game 3 out of 5 games played between the two teams TyRanT Legends and NC and Friends Arma. I've already gone over this in the previous 2 matches, but you can find all sorts of useful information on the tournament, as well as links to watch the rest of the matches with my commentary in the video description below. And of course, thank you to Voobly, Aoe2, the TyRanT sponsor, and WSVG for helping make all of this possible. In a moment, I'm going to go turn back on the overlay, which will spoil the results from the previous 2 matches, so make sure you watch those first. And as you're probably aware, your feedback is sincerely appreciated, so feel free to leave me a comment and tell me if this is the type of thing that you'd like to see me do more of in the future. Alright, without further ado, let us jump straight into Game 3, which will be played on the custom War is Coming map pack version 4. Before I describe the map though, I am going to take a brief moment to introduce the players for you guys. Alright, so at the bottom corner of the map we have the Viper playing as the Purple Spanish, and to his left we have Jordan23 playing as the Orange Koreans. And in the far left corner of the map we have Cab playing as the Blue Persians, and just a bit above him we have Doubt playing as the Gray Aztecs. And as for the opposing team, we have Andorran at the top of the map playing as the Green Franks. To his right, we have Arma playing as the Teal Celts, who is replacing Sniper from the previous match. And in the far right corner of the map, we have Nilpfert, once again playing as the Red Vikings. And just a little bit below him, we have Skittle playing as the Yellow Mongols. Since I've explained a little bit of the backstory behind the teams in the previous game, I won't go over it too much here, but basically, TyRanT Legends has been looking tremendously strong over the years, and while NC and Friends Arma have been showing promising signs of life, it is going to take some special planning and execution to allow them to take on some of the best that competitive Age of Empires 2 has to offer. Still though, last game NC showed us that they have some very clever tricks up their sleeve, so I'm very excited to see how this match turns out. Now, onto the map itself, the two teams are playing on the War is Coming map pack version 4, which contains a wide variety of different maps. It looks like this time TyRanT and NC will be playing on the map Twin Puddles, which has a ring of trees along the edge of the map, as well as 2 small lakes that are teeming with valuable fish. Now, like with any map that has a body of water that is full of fish, it is going to be a huge point of contention between both teams, as I expect to see a lot of galley rushing from both sides, in which both teams will try to get to the feudal age fairly quickly, plop down some docks in these lakes, and try and fight for control of the water. It's really important that you take control of the water on these maps because having access to all this fish, not only is having a dock and creating fishing ships in the early game kind of like having a second town center that is producing villagers, which already allows you to expand your economy faster than your opponent, but fishing ships gather food from any fish that's not shorefish extremely efficiently actually. And this is a lot of wood. While you invest a lot initially, it's a lot of wood that you do save instead of building farms. So water extremely important on this map, and I expect to see a lot of galley action from both sides. Now, one thing that I think is interesting to point out actually is that Jordan is already sending a villager over to the far right side of the map at this point. We're only 3 minutes and 40 seconds in, and he's already walking over there. I think that the reason that he's sending his villager over here now is that he wants to start working on getting out his dock and getting out his fishing ships as early as physically possible. That way he can help the Viper. I expect to see both teams putting, their respective pocket players, so I expect to see Arma helping out Andorran on the left-hand side of the map, and I expect to see Cab as well building a dock over here, which looks like he's going to start doing right now. So we're going to see some 2v2s in these small little puddles, which will give the team that controls them a big edge. One thing that does concern me, though, is if we look right now, is that Jordan's villager does not have loom, and he's going to walk straight into a very conveniently placed wolf on this hill, and that's already going to weaken his villager, but look who's here, right on time! Skittle here making a huge play, sending in his scout perfectly timed in sync with Jordan's villager, and he's going to actually take it out before his scout dies. Oh, that's going to be huge, and his scout's going to get away! Jordan does not actually get to build his dock in the early game. That's going to set him so far behind. You never want to have to lose a villager like this walking all the way over here. And he also does not get to build his dock, which you can see he was preparing for in his build order because he's got no mill or anything else. He was clearly planning to put down that dock early, and now it's going to be substantially delayed. If you look at all the wood he has, that was for the dock and all the fishing ships, and now it's going to go completely to waste, basically, and he's going to have to send another villager over there. So I have to say, this opening from NC looking incredibly strong. in the right place at the right time. That is brilliant to see Skittle send his scout over there. Perfectly timed. NC here showing us that they have the potential to take on the best of Age of Empires 2. I would not be surprised if they took this game with an opening that strong. We'll see, because TyRanT doesn't give up that easily, and there's a reason why they are one of the best teams around. What I like to see as well is the Viper did harvest from the shorefish after he built the dock before sending his villager back to the base. And this is really good, because you're already going to walk that distance anyway, so you might as well give yourself a little bit of an advantage by gathering some food and then walking back. It's the little things that really do make a difference here in these top-level Aoe2 games. And now Jordan is going to finally make it over here again, and is going to start building his dock to help the Viper on his side. He's a little bit delayed, but TyRanT should still be fine in this case, as the dock is going up right about now, and he should be able to get this up just fine and finish the dock now. It actually looks like Nilfair is in here with his scout. Wow, that is some really good coordination on the part of NC, as they know that Skittle's scout is too low in HP to take on this Luminous villager, and he's gonna kill Jordan's villager again. So Jordan is not gonna get his dock up. It's 8 minutes in, he has no dock. The Viper is alone on this side, and to make matters worse, Jordan had that dock at 50% built, which means that when he had to delete it, because there's no way he was going to finish it. Oh my god, is he gonna get the Viper scout too? Nilfair on fire here already, NC looking incredibly strong. So Jordan here's dock was at 50% HP, so once it died, he only got half the resources back, so he lost half the cost of the dock. He lost like 65, like 70 wood, like right there. Oh, that's super duper bad. That is super bad for TyRanT. They're going to be really far behind, and I don't even know at this point if Jordan is going to even send another villager over there. No, he's not going to do that. So, you know what this means? NC at a massive, colossal lead here. TyRanT on the back foot. Like, the Viper, he's going to have to 2v1 on the water here, as Skittle and Nilfair already docked. You're going to see a 2v2 on this side, but it's going to be a 2v1 for the Viper on his side, and if there's anyone that can 2v1 on the water, it's probably the Viper, but even then, that's a stretch for him. There's no way, there's like almost no way that he can win the water on this side. It's going to basically take a miracle for him to get any value out of the water anyway, but, you know, the Viper not going to give up. He's tough as nails. He's going to build a second dock, and he's going to try and compete for the water on this side and see if he can do it. Doubt already up to the feudal age. We know that these players on the flank are going for a galley rush by looking at their economy. Nothing on food. Everything is on wood and gold. They do that the moment that they start advancing to the feudal age. They take everything off of food, because the amount of fishing ships that you have, your 3 or 4, should be enough to sustain villager production. And the goal is to get on as many galleys as possible, so we can see 4 players here going for a galley rush. Players being incredibly annoying with their scouts, as it looks like this Eagle Warrior was almost going to kill this builder on this dock, and he actually does get to delay Andorran's dock. And not only that, but Doubt was already up to the feudal age first, so he's going to have 2 galleys out before Andorran even gets to make 1. Oh god, if we check out Andorran right now, he has a galley at 30%, 1 at 3%, and Doubt has 2 galleys here already. So the water completely lost yet again. This is the second time that we've seen this, where Doubt, just a little bit faster, a little bit more efficient than his opponents, 1 step ahead, gets to the feudal age first, gets up his galleys up first, and since the Aztecs create their military units 15% faster, Doubt basically gets to win the water. 3 galleys! 3 galleys from Doubt before Andorran gets out 1. The water completely lost on this side, but the Viper is going to try his hardest here to compete on the right in a 2v1 situation against all odds. Great micro here from both players, as we can see the Viper trying to pull back his low HP galley that Skittle is focus firing, and during this time this galley right here gets to get all these free shots on Skittle's galleys, as they are chasing this low HP galley that is juking the shots by going perpendicular to the arrows. It's taking no damage. The Viper gets to do a lot of free damage, so amazing micro here from the Viper. Skittle here also mirroring him as well. Both players microing extremely well, but what I like to see is that the Viper here, he took note of the galley that he had at 8 HP, and he focused fired that one down first. And that's really hard to do, because you have to remember the health of each galleys as they shuffle around. And the Viper's still managing to keep his 16 HP health galley alive, so really just amazing micro here from both sides. But the Viper here looking really strong. Although this might be a temporary victory, as Nilfair is up to the feudal age now, as he's going for a fast castle age, presumably plopping out a galley, and once that first galley comes out, that's going to be really bad for TyRanT. We know he's going for a fast castle age because we look at his eco. He's got quite a bit of stuff on food, whereas You know, the players that were on the flanks are definitely not. We see the stable over here, blacksmith, blacksmith stable. So we know that these guys are going for a fast castle age into a night rush. The Viper here is going to try and try and swing around and attack these fishing ships, and it looks like Skittle actually completely out of position. This is a huge blunder on the part of NC. The Viper getting insane value, absolutely insane value out of his galleys, as he's going to mop up all these fishing ships. He's taken out 3, he's going to take out the 4th one. He might not get that, but Skittle over here patrolling in the wrong location as the Viper gets to kill all of Nilpfert's fishing ships for free. Basically for free. And we didn't expect the Viper at all to get anything out of his galleys because he's 2v1 on this side, there's no way, but this really does matter when you consider that Nilpfert is going for a night rush. We see the stable, we see the blacksmith, we see the way he set up his economy. He's already close, yeah, he's already advancing right now as we speak. Because when he got to the feudal age, he built that blacksmith, he built that stable, and he was almost had enough resources already based on the way he set up his eco. And, you know, we look at the way his economy is set up, and he doesn't have that much on food. Why? Because he had all those fishing ships, and that's really going to screw up his economy and weaken his night rush. So incredibly well played on the Viper, seeing an opportunity, a hole in the enemy defenses, and he got to do a lot of damage here. And during this time, he wasn't trying to take a straight up fight with the enemy galleys. He was just trying to focus down enemy fishing ships, do as much damage to their economy before he inevitably lost the water. This side, yet again, a complete wash for TyRanT, as, you know, Cab is being harassed heavily by Andorran's galleys again. Really smart on Andorran's part. I really like to see this. He took his galleys. He did not want to fight Doubt, because Doubt has, like, you know, easily 4 times as many galleys. And instead, he's just trying to zone Cab off the water, and he's actually going to make all those fishing ships go idle. So really, really well played from Andorran. Cab here up to the castle age first, but something that is interesting that I feel the need to point out is that Cab actually is on only 1 stable. He plopped down another TC at the very, very start, so, you know, since he's the Persians and his town centers create villagers faster and research techs faster, he's got a very powerful economy, so he can afford to do this. But this is pretty greedy, honestly, going on 1 stable. If we look at Arma, he's on 2. He's going for a 2 stable night rush, very standard here. 2 stable night rush as well, coming from out from Nilpfert. And we have 2 stables from Jordan, so Cab here flexing his muscles, and he's like, come at me, guys, I only have 1 stable. Only 1. And when I look at how the situation is going right now, I mean, look at the scores, guys. NC this close to toppling TyRanT. They have a huge early game lead, and it's going to take a miracle for things to turn around at this rate, especially considering that Cab is only on 1 stable. It's a big gamble, but it could pay off. When you're behind, you always have to take risks. And here, he thinks he's confident enough in his booming ability that he thinks that if he can get out a big economy by getting out a bunch of TCs, like he's already building a 2nd TC. He's on 3 TCs total and on 1 stable. So he's already going to have a big advantage over his opponents, who will only be able to put down 1 TC because they built a 2nd stable. So yeah, they only have 2 town centers. So Cab here thinks that he can get a massive economy and overwhelm his opponents, but we see the downside right now of having only 1 stable, as Cab here only has 3 knights, where Andorran has 7 knights on this side. When, you know, the right hand of the map is absolutely a wash for NC, as the Viper is going to lose everything here. Going to lose absolutely everything. I do see a transport ship, though. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, as Skittle might be up to no good. We've seen NC's transport ship play, guys. Very obnoxious. So the right-hand side of the map, a complete loss. The Viper got, you know, really almost cheesed in an incredibly unique and well-coordinated way. So major credit to NC here with an absolutely brilliant executed early game. They know the Viper is a huge problem, so they just had to shut him down by making sure he got 2v1 on the water by Skittle and Nilpfert. Nothing the Viper could really do there in a 2v1 situation. Got some knights here coming in from Nilpfert. Jordan's knights coming out, and when I look at the fact that there's only 1 stable on this side, and Cab, if we're paying attention to his gold income, he's had like none, so he is just getting out like his 4th knight right now. He's got a 2nd stable now. This is gonna be really, really good for NC. They're going to clean up all of Cab's knights, and the left-hand side of the map gonna get crushed. The right-hand side of the map got absolutely destroyed by NC, and the right-hand side's gonna be destroyed as well. So many knights here from Arma. Oh, this is ridiculous. Doubt's gonna have to retreat. Andorran and Arma looking incredibly strong. Doubt gonna have to pull out. He's gonna lose so many of his guys here, and the right-hand side of the map, the NC has won the early game on both sides of the map. Sure, they lost the water on the left-hand side, but the knights from Arma have been really the MVP on this side, is Cab banking on his ability to outboom his opponent, so we'll see how this works out. Jordan here into Skittles' economy, gonna try and delay him a bit, do a lot of damage here actually, as Niltfert's gonna have to try and come in and defend this. Both pockets still going for knights as the flanks are battling it out right now. Skittles still in the feudal age as well as the Viper, and we just have a huge army lead on this side of the map right now. Oh, this is ridiculous. The down to only like 4 guys here. Well, he's got a couple more coming in, and it's looking strong. It's looking strong. Cab just cannot keep up with the knight production, but we check the population right now. Holy guacamole. Looks like Cab here with a civilian population. He's got 57, 60 villagers compared to Arma, who is 20 behind, 39 to 60. So we got a 21 villager difference here. Part of this is, you know, fishing ships, of course, as we got a couple fishing ships for Cab, but Cab pulling ahead massively on the economy side of things. So if Doubt can hold on, if he can hold on against so much knight pressure from Arma and Andorran, Cab's going to have a massive economy, and he might be able to do something huge off of this. So I haven't seen the knights go into the transport ship yet, but I expect them to do that right about now. Niltfert may have used this already. Hard to tell. There's a lot to keep track of. But either way, this side of the map looking pretty strong here for NC, but they're really going to have to press the advantage on Doubt. Doubt needs to take some serious damage here. Otherwise, NC might be in trouble as Cab is booming like crazy. Cab is booming absolutely like crazy. Huge battle going on over here. Absolutely huge battle. We'll see who's going to win this. You know, actually, wait just a second. There's a huge blunder from NC as Arma's knights in the wrong position. They're at the back here, not firing at anything, and Doubt sees the situation. He's paying super close attention. You give TyRanT an inch, they take a mile. Andorran's entire army wiped out. He's down to 4 military units, whereas Doubt has 26, and sure, he's got 9 galleys, but wow, this is the left-hand side of the map completely turned around, and suddenly, TyRanT completely back in this. I can't believe that just happened, honestly. Like, I don't know, Arma's Knights, like, it seems like a really tiny positional thing, like a really tiny positional error, but, you know, just 1 second where you're in the wrong position and Doubt just cleans you up. He just cleans you up. Knights here got landed from Niltfert, but yeah, like these knights were just a little bit towards the back of Andorran's army, not shooting at anything. Andorran's army a little bit too far forward, perhaps, and Doubt just gets to clean up all those guys before the knights get to retaliate. And suddenly, even though Cab started with one stable versus 2, you'd think it'd be a wash on this side of the map. It was not, as Doubt managed to capitalize on that mistake and just absolutely catapult forward. So suddenly, NC, things falling apart. Arma has a huge army over here, but Andorran now completely on the back foot. One of the things that I think is playing into this just a little bit, like their army populations between Doubt and Andorran were pretty even, you know, relatively recently. But the fact that Doubt is he's the Aztecs, his military units create a little bit faster, does allow him to pull ahead slowly. Jordan here going to go help Niltfert as he does land, and again, the really smart play from Skittle and Niltfert over here is he built the transport ship, decided to land over here because we know the Viper is walled up. He's got a castle over here, going for conquistadors, very standard from the Spanish here. Jordan gonna give him a hand, and we'll see if the Viper can micro this one well despite the lag. Yep, he's gonna pull back the conquistador that's getting focus fired, just like with the galleys. Gonna shoot those knights, focus down the low HP ones. The Viper microing like a god here. Gonna take out all those knights from Niltfert, not gonna take too much damage there. So yeah, suddenly the game just completely turned around. TyRanT looked like they were in an incredibly awful situation in the early game as everything went wrong for them, and then suddenly they're back in this, and Arma making a desperation play, gonna take all of his knights right now. He's gonna take all of his knights and he's gonna go into Cab's economy, but during this time, I mean, his base is unattended. There's also a big army of knights from Cab, a lot smaller one granted, but Arma's got his entire army of knights over here. He's like, alright, Andorran, you're gonna be left to fend for yourself, and he's gonna try and cripple Cab's economy. Because he knows that Cab is booming and that Cab must be stopped right now. But here's the problem. Cab split his army up in 2. Really smart play in his part. He split his army up in 2, so that way he could pull back half of his army to defend his base against Arma's knights. And he should be able to actually clean this up because he has a good number of knights in this base. They're taking a lot of town center fire. The Celt Knights not as strong as the Persian Knights, which have a lot more upgrades as well. As we can see, he's got Bloodlines, the +2 attack. Missing a lot of upgrades over here, no +2 attack from these Knights from Arma, and he has no bloodlines because he's Celts. Sure, the Knights are going to be cleaned up in Arma's own base, but Cab lost a lot less Knights. I actually don't know why Arma is taking this fight. He should really get out of there, as Cab making another great play here. Gonna make a couple camels, which are going to be a fantastic way to deal with the Knights in the mid-game. You won't usually see players commit to them for too long, because camels aren't like that strong in the late game. They get mowed down really heavily by castles, town centers, and everything, because they have like no pierce armor, and they actually have a weakness to arrows. Like, they get absolutely murdered by castles because, fun fact, camels are actually ships, and they've got the ship armor type, so the more you know. So camels are a good answer, though, in the mid-game to Knights, as unlike pikemen, they don't get kited, they can chase the Knights down. They're also very, very bulky, so they're going to do a lot of damage to the Knights, and I really don't think Arma should have taken that fight, as there were a couple camels in there, and that was going to turn the tables. And Doran here, completely desperate. He got to the Castle Age before Doubt did, and Doubt's actually not in the Castle Age yet, so... And Doran here, seeing an opportunity, he's got Bodkin Arrow, he's got the level 2 defense upgrade for his crossbow, so fully upgraded in the Castle Age. He has a huge tech advantage here, as Doubt's still in the Feudal Age, and this is usually when you'll see players going in with their crossmen once they get their Bodkin Arrow and their crossman upgrade. He's going to try and push in, capitalize on his tech bonus, but Cab here, of course, in the right position, ready to defend his teammate. Doubt with a massive army lead. The tech advantage is just not going to be enough here, as we have 19 to 54 military population. 54 military units from Doubt, going to be able to force Andoran to pull back. So, wow, TyRanT looking strong. Look at the size of this army from Doubt. Absolutely ridiculous. Arma's going to send in a couple Knights, but, you know, he's got nothing because he threw away his entire army trying to get into Cab's eco because he had to stop Cab from booming, but the Knights are just so much stronger from Cab. I don't know if he has noticed the upgrade discrepancy, and things are looking pretty bad for NC. This massive army closing in on Andoran's base. During this time, though, it looks like Skittle has advanced the Imperial Age. The Viper going for Conquistadors. Great unique unit. You won't usually see the players going for their early castle and then making unique units. For the most part, just it's really hard to mass units from your castle because you can only build so many of them because they're so expensive. And Doran's going to be completely cleaned up on this side, and he's gonna be really set back. Conquistador's better than other unique units though, because they've got really, really great stats. They're great for raiding, and the Spanish can also, of course, build the castle faster. And Doran completely out of an army, down to 6 military population, gonna build a siege workshop and wall up his base and try and hold on. He's gonna wall this area up as well. And Doran trying to hold on against all odds, as we got a battle going on over here between the Viper and Skittle. Skittle here, though, is huge in the Imperial Age, and I haven't seen any troops out from Neilpferret in a little bit, so I see a market as well. And that makes me think that he has been slinging Skittle. I'm assuming he's been doing that. If we check the achievements at the end, I'm sure we will definitely see that. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, Neilpferret has been slinging Skittle heavily, which I think is a good play. Because at this point in the game, NC has very few options. The left-hand side of the map just suddenly completely turned around. Very, very hard for them to win that. However, the one thing that they did have over them is that Skittle is in the Imperial Age. He already had a huge advantage over the Viper, who had one of the harshest early games I've ever seen him have, as he had to 2v1 in the water. He was really far behind. NC had to, really try and take advantage of their strengths here, and just try and take out the Viper by slinging him. But on the flip side, perhaps that isn't working very well, as Skittle floating a ridiculous amount of resources. He has to spend them, and Arma has nothing to defend himself. Arma fell insanely far behind here. The 2 military units. He's 30 villagers behind both of the pockets of the enemy, and TyRanT here looking so very strong, showing us that even when they have the absolute worst early game possible, that they can still turn it around against all odds. So what an amazing game from TyRanT here. I think NC's in deep trouble. I'm not going to say it's over, but it's looking pretty close to over, as Arma is just going to die. He's got nothing. He's going to try and plop down a siege workshop, get in a couple mangonels, deal these crossbowmen, but he has no answer to the Knights. All eyes on Skittle right now, as Skittle's still rich with 2k wood. Maybe perhaps not making the best use of the sling, and he only has 6 military units actually, and he's being slung, whereas the Viper here with actually a larger army. Sure, I think the problem we're running into right now is that Skittle is trying to get upgrades for his guys. Like, he's getting like conscription of this one, which he just finished, and he's getting elite Mangudai right now. So during this time, he just hasn't been able to produce anything. maybe he needs to spend this money on something other than Mangadai because they're so hard to mass. They're insanely overpowered once you get them out, but they're really hard to mass, and it looks like NC gonna call it game. So suddenly, this game has been a roller coaster of emotions as we end with the Onager shot of the year. That Mangadai wiping out a ton of Doubt's crossbowmen. But yeah, too little too late from Skittle, as he's just not going to be able to get in an army in time. And yeah, you want to get out those elite Mangadai, you want to mass them in the late game, but they can be really hard to get out initially once you're waiting for those castles to come down. So maybe he should have spent that money on something else. I don't know. Nilpfert wasn't really able to do anything because he was just slinging Skittle, who wasn't able to spend the money in time. And Arma here, after he lost that army to Cab in his base, just completely fell apart. And he was always at an eco disadvantage from Cab because Cab had all those extra TCs. And Jordan, you know, finally hit Imp. He's putting down some castles, getting out some war wagons. It's a shame we didn't get to see too much action here from Jordan. But Jordan had a massive, massive economy. And, you know, even though, here's the thing. You know, the more I think about it, maybe that slinging, like, it was worth a shot. It had its pros and cons. It's really easy to say in retrospect. You know, in hindsight, whether or not that was good or bad. It's really tough when you have to make those, you know, knee-jerk decisions in the heat of the moment, like NC had to do right there. So it's a tough call for sure, but when I think about it, Jordan was the Koreans, and we all know the Koreans in the ultra late game are incredibly strong because war wagons are like ranged war elephants, very, very buff. They have ridiculous stats, very, very population efficient. They might be very expensive, but they have insane combat stats. They also get ridiculously powerful onagers, so what the Koreans lack in an early mid-game, due to a lack of relevant eco bonuses, stone mining not very useful to have quicker stone mining, compared to some like the Mongols where they hunt faster. I mean, that'll get you to that'll slingshot you through the ages incredibly quickly. And Koreans really strong in the late game. Jordan get to boom, you know, after going for knights, so the slinging to Skittle, he would have had to fight the Viper, and sure, they got to take out his castle, which really did set him behind. The Viper does have another castle, so again, the Viper got focused down really hard this game, was really far behind. But Jordan, though, Jordan was huge. I don't know if Jordan, I don't know if Skittle could fight these two, even though the Viper is incredibly weak. With Skittle being slung that hard, Jordan would probably be able to hold that line. I guess that was, I guess NC really felt like they were in a hopeless situation. They had to do something, so they were like, all right, Nilpfert, don't go Imp, don't make guys, just sling me, and then I'm going to try and take out the Viper. And they did a lot of damage to him, but Jordan was here to assist them. This is such a roller coaster of a game, like just nothing but back and forth. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I guess I'm just surprised that things went south so fast for NC. They had like the perfect opening, whereas the Viper had like a really bad opening as he got 2v1 on the water. And even though they lost the water, because Doubt, you know, once again, one step ahead of his opponents, Cab went for a more late-game, mid-game focused thing where he went for only one stable, so Arma and Doran should have been able to, you know, win that side, I really feel like, especially, and like Skittle and Nilpfert should have really been able to push their advantage on the Viper as well, as he was incredibly weak. The Koreans not very relevant in the mid to early game. I don't know. I'm surprised that TyRanT turned it around, but if there's anyone that can turn it around in a situation that bleak, it's definitely TyRanT, so wow, what a game. What a game. What makes me excited about this match compared to the other ones is that this one was really close. Like, NC had an actual, like, clear, tangible advantage for a substantial amount of time. Whereas it felt like in the previous games between these two teams that NC has always been on the back foot. NC's always been behind, TyRanT always one step ahead. And in this game, NC had, like, a flawless opening, showing us that they are, you know, more than capable of disrupting TyRanT, throwing them off balance, showing them something they were not prepared for. And it made a huge difference in both Game 2 and Game 3, and perhaps in Game 4, all of their planning will come together, and they might be able to take a game off TyRanT. It's tough to say, because TyRanT's shown us that they're very, very adaptable, and they're prepared for these type of unexpected situations. So wow, what a great game. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. I am psyched. We've got Game 4 coming up, which is going to be on Nomad. It's going to be on good old Nomad, and then after that, we got a best of 3 in Deathmatch. And then that'll be the end of this series. You know, of course, let me know if you want me to do more series and more is coming. Of course, I'll be doing plenty of, you know, top-level Age of Empires 2 commentaries, of course, you know, every now and then. Those are definitely coming. I might do more wars coming. We'll see. Ooh, I'm pumped. How is Game 4 going to turn out? Does this game look promising? All right, let me go update the scoreboards. Let's go check out the achievements and see exactly how TyRanT managed to come out on top here yet again. What a great game. Here's the TyRanT victory theme that we all know and love and have come to expect. My goodness. Yeah, Jordan unfortunately didn't get too much action done this game because he was Koreans. He got to do a lot of damage, 2 Skittle with the Knight rating, which did really slow him down. Jordan very, very helpful this game. He didn't really get to that dream of the Korean Death Ball. When you get to the Imperial Age, you gotta start pumping out Onagers, Halberdiers, War Wagons, incredibly hard to deal with. They also get Gunpowder too. What an absolute terror. Doubt showing us yet again that being a minute ahead of the Feudal Age, oh my god, does that make all the difference in the world when it comes to galleys. Managed to clean up his side effortlessly. 3 galleys before Andorran had 1. Wow. What a crazy, crazy game. I love seeing this level of innovation from NC, though, is that they know that TyRanT is an incredibly, like, mechanically polished team that's really hard to compete with when you're fighting them on their terms. So NC, in Game 2 and Game 3, because in Game 1 they were kind of playing by TyRanT's terms. They were letting TyRanT dictate the pace of the game. But in Game 2 and 3, they realized their only way they could win is by them making the shots, them being the ones in charge. So they tried to throw TyRanT off their groove, and they did a really good job with that with the scouts in both games. Really ruining TyRanT's game plan, but TyRanT just managed to adapt and come back in this against all odds and just really, really clean up NC. It's amazing how swingy high-level Aoe2 can be, where, you know, one, micro mistake, as we saw around, like, what, 23 minutes in or something like that, where, Andorran was just a little bit too far forward, and Arma just a little bit too far back with his guys. Doubt cleaned up their entire army, and that was the turning point. Absolutely crazy game. Still, though, even despite that, NC played incredibly well. They really, I can't stress that enough. Like, the early game was really, really well coordinated, where they managed to shut down Jordan, shut down the Viper. They had a really, really strong pressure on the left-hand side of the map. Like, Andorran with his galleys, very, very good control, managed to damage Cab's fishing ships a lot. Arma got to do a lot of damage to Doubt, pressure him really hard with the Knights. Arma and Andorran, a great, great team on the left-hand side of the map, despite that. One unfortunate occurrence. Neilferret and Skittle, also very, very powerful. Looked like they had that side in the bag. Great teamwork there with the transport ship. But, you know, TyRanT coming out here, Cab showing us that he made absolutely the right call there to go for the quick 2 town centers and only go with the 1 stable. He has so much faith in Doubt. So much faith in Doubt. He's like, he knows that Doubt can hold against the 2 stables from the opposing pocket. And I'll tell you, it really paid off. Cab is the team's strategy guy, so he basically comes up with all the strategies for the team, and it shows. It shows. TyRanT always feels like a well-oiled machine. They always feel like they've got a plan, and even when their plan doesn't work, they still seem really coordinated. Like, TyRanT rarely panics, I guess. And yeah, that's a crazy game. That's Age of Empires 2 for you guys. That's why I love watching competitive AoE2, because they keep showing you something fresh and something new here. And NC making the best of a worse situation. They know that this match is going to be hard. They're facing TyRanT Legends, who has never lost a tournament. And they're looking strong. They made TyRanT look shaky for just a few minutes. And that's incredibly impressive. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for watching. What a great game. I really enjoyed it. If you enjoyed watching this match, please do leave me a like rating, as it does help me out a lot. And of course, if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to check out the rest of the stuff on my YouTube channel. I have plenty of other Age of Empires 2 videos there, as well as videos for other games, so if you like this one, you'll probably like those as well. I also have a bunch of other Wars Coming commentaries and top-level AoE2 commentaries as well. So again, guys, your support is sincerely appreciated. Great to have you all around. I have to say, this has been a fun change of pace for me. I'm still going to do, the weekly AoE2 live streams with the community, so we'll do community games, don't worry, those are still going on. During the December, around the holidays, my stream schedule is going to be a little bit wonky because I'm going to be, out of town visiting friends and whatnot. But besides that, we're going to do the community stream every week. This is just extra offline content. And I'm having a blast. I hope you guys are. I hope you guys have a great, great holiday season. Game 4 going to be coming in a couple of days. I'll have the rest of the series up in a couple of days. And yeah, keep your eyes peeled. I got a lot of fun content on the way. Yeah. This is shaping up to be a fun series. Hopefully future series that I cast will be just a little bit closer. But this game shows me that these two teams are closer matched than they appear. Just tiny little inefficiencies have really managed to let TyRanT pull ahead here. Like I mentioned earlier, give them an inch, they take a mile. TyRanT showing us why they have never lost a tournament. What a powerful team. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. See you all next time. Have a great holiday season. See you all soon. And probably between Game 4 and whatnot, I'll also upload a bunch of, you know, just like the community stream VODs from my past streams. And then we'll finish the series. Don't worry. Alright, see you guys next time. Have a great holiday season. Cheers! GG, well played.